Tushar, record. So, hello everyone. We will start at 8 once. Let the people join. Uh, while people are joining, I will start the session because it is already 8:01. So, hello everyone. Good evening from India. I am Shikha Singh, volunteering as Vice President Professional Development at PMI Mumbai Chapter. I hold a BE in Production Engineering from Mumbai University, Green Belt in Lean Six Sigma, and PMP certified from PMI. Professionally, I am working at LRQA Inspection Services India LLP at Mumbai and having over 18 plus years of experience in operations of inspection services and right now handling global projects. So I welcome everyone for today's PM Pit Stop session. And today's registrations are 290 plus and counting. So the flyer is displayed on the screen. I will request all the attendees to inform their friends and colleagues to register for this event and join today's session within 4 or 5 minutes so that we can, like, it is a very valuable session. So PM Pitstop provides a platform where subject matter experts and project managers from many industries share their experiences and demonstrate the usage of various tools and techniques in the real world. So today's topic is the Matrix program, and guest the speaker again, Mr. Premal Desai. He is very passionate trainer, project management advisor, and process consultant, and he is very interested to share his knowledge with all the attendees. So kudos to you. Premal holds a bachelor's degree in commerce and diploma in computers from University of Mumbai and IT certifications in the areas of project management, PMP and Prince 2, service management, ITIL expert, IT governance, COBIT, enterprise architecture, TOGAF 9.1, and in software development, certified Scrum Master. Premal has managed multiple projects for various international customers end to end and recently handled global pre-sales team for multi LOB involving ITS, BPO and RNA at DORA Metrics. Premal Desai is a result-oriented professional with close to 30 plus years of rich experience in IT strategy and operations requirements management, program and customer stakeholders management, improving processes and pre-sales activities. Premal has trained more than 2550 plus IT professionals of various levels since 2009 on various subjects like ITIL V3, Prince 2, COBIT, Agile Scrum, Lean IT, PMP, and mentored many individuals in building career paths. His LinkedIn profile will be shared in chat box, so please connect with him. And please post questions in the chat box and same will be answered at the end of the session by the speaker. And remember, recording of this session will be posted on our YouTube channel, PMI Mumbai Chapter, in a couple of days. So I request Premal to start his session, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Shika, for the introduction and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the globe, on the planet Earth. And let's begin the journey of the metrics program. It's a very interesting, I would say, session, and the takeaway would be that how world has changed over a period of time with playing of the data. Okay, so that's the metrics program. As the title says, the metrics program, you cannot manage what you don't measure. So in any activity which you perform, any process which you undertake, any process you use, you must collect the measurements, the metrics, and the most famous word which we use very frequently is the KPI, key performance indicators. So that is where the metrics program comes into place. You take any project on planet Earth, You take any project on planet Earth, the project and the activities and the functions related to that project to achieve the objective of defined, whatever has been defined in the business case. The measurement of the success of the project is metrics, the KPIs. Okay, this is a very famous measurement. I would not say one measurement, the metric which we see every day when we open economictimes.com or redif.com or financialtimes.com or nyc.com, etc., etc. What is that indicates? It indicates stock metrics, the index metrics, which is there in front of you. It indicates, it shows, it conveys a lot of information about the data, about the metrics, that there is an upward trend, downward trend over a period of time, last 6 months, year, 2 years, 3 years, as the way you want. Very important metrics from an economic standpoint, that how the country is resulting from the economic growth. This is the barometer, what we call, of economics and economy. That BSE NSE index is a barometer. That is what the financial expert says, and that is what it indicates. So in any activity, any project, any process you use, you must collect the metrics and related KPIs. There are various terms which we will see, because a lot of people use or misinterpret or speak in a loose way the metrics, the measurement, the KPI, so and so forth. So we will see those terms, and then we will see certain techniques, and we will see certain examples, what people collect over a period of time when they are working in a industry, which can be any domain: manufacturing, aviation, oil and gas, infrastructure, information technology, so and so forth. So I was talking about project, and very, very important for those who are non-PMPs or non-project management background. Project is a temporary endeavor. Life is also a project. It has got a start date, and someone else knows the end date. You know your start date, which is equal to your birth date, and someone else knows your end date. Project is also, life is also a project. So project is a temporary endeavor designed to produce a unique product, service, or a result with a defined beginning and end. And when you have this defined beginning and end, you perform a lot of activities, you come across a lot of functions, you bring a lot of people together, you bring a lot of uncertainty together, you bring a lot of change together, because projects are enablers of change. So when you bring this together to deliver certain objectives as defined in the business case or a project brief or a project initiation document or project charter, as the case may be, you need to collect measurements, metrics, KPIs to see how are you performing vis-a-vis the plan. You have planned that you will complete 60% of the project in 4 months' time. Did you complete? Yes or no? How will you evaluate this? You will evaluate when you use measurements, metrics, KPIs. And these KPIs, these measurements, these metrics have to be efficient and effective to judge, see whether the project is on track or not. So coming back, the project is a temporary endeavor. And there are two famous methodologies on project management. The first is PMP, from PMI. The second one is Prince2 from Exilos, UK. Two famous project management methodologies. Agile Scrum, DSDM, Waterfall, Iterative are not project management methodologies. They are execution methodologies, or what we call software development life cycle. I have written a blog on this in some website, I don't recollect, but both are distinct in nature. That's why I have put this specific diagram in front of you in the bottom of the slide, which tells that project management life cycle and software development life cycle are distinct in nature. They are not same. Project management life cycle comprises of initiation, planning, execution, check, control, close. What we call IPCC. What we call IPCC. Initiation, planning, execution, check, control, close is the project management life cycle. Agile Scrum, Waterfall, DSDM, Iterative, Spiral, Extreme Programming are software development life cycles. They are type of execution methodologies. They are not project management methodologies. Very clear on this. Anyone wants to learn more on this can connect up with me on LinkedIn. I can tell you more in details. And when you execute, when you undertake the project and its project development, project execution, 5 important characteristics of a project comes out. Every project brings change. Projects are enablers of change. Projects brings change. Projects are temporary in nature. No project on planet Earth, whether it is an ISRO Chandrayaan or NASA Mars mission or any kind of a project, ONGC, oil and gas natural project, infrastructure project, information technology project, you bring any project on planet Earth, it is temporary in nature. It will get initiated, it will die, as we call closure. Every project is unique in nature. No project on planet Earth are same. They are maybe similar, but not same. Very important, unique in nature. Every project brings cross-functional people together. They bring people together, cross-functional, different department, functions come together to achieve the common objective as defined in the business case, project brief, project charter, project initiation document, whichever project management methodology you are using. Because I have used a lot of terms from Prince2 and PMP. And the last, project brings uncertainty. Every project on planet Earth, however small, simple, average, complex, very complex, any kind of project always brings uncertainty. What we know it as risk. No one can say, no project manager can say that my project does not have risk. You will have at least one risk register in a project management product, what we call risk register. Prince2 defines around 40 project management products. And these products enables you to deliver specialized products, the services, the result. So that is what we call uncertainty. Risk. Clear? So that's on project management and the characteristics of a project. Every project need to be managed, monitored, controlled with 7 aspects of the project. Every project need to be managed, monitored, controlled. MMC, what I call manage, monitor, control, with 7 aspects of the project: time frame, schedule, scope, cost, benefits, quality, risk, resources. Resources does not mean only human aspect or a human nature. Resources can be any kind of resources required to execute the project. So you need to manage, monitor, control, and that is where the metrics comes into place. That you need to manage, monitor, control the 7 aspects of the project. There are various, I would say, variants of these 7 aspects which has emerged over a period of time, and that is where different metrics types have emerged. But fundamentally, you will have 7 aspects to be managed, monitor, control: time frame, schedule, and you need to manage, monitor, control with planned versus actual. The variance, scope. What was the baseline scope? So what is a baseline? A baseline is nothing but any artifact which is reviewed and approved is a baseline. So you compare baseline scope with delivered scope. Is there any variation? Or there is no variation? And there is a specific word used in PMP in a scope management process or a practice, which is known as gold plating. I leave this word with you. You can search on internet. What do you mean by gold plating? The third important aspect is cost. You need to manage, monitor, control cost. Cost of the project. Well, you have planned that it will cost $10 million. Did it cost 10 million? Where are we? How much is remaining? If this is the remaining amount and this is the remaining number of days, will I be able to manage the funds with what is remaining vis-a-vis the duration remaining? And that is where very important and very useful technique of PMP comes into place, what we call earned value method, EVM. The fourth one is benefits. The fifth one is quality. Sixth one is risk. And the last is resources. You must manage, monitor, control resources. You must plan the resources. You must manage, monitor, control it, and see where are we with resources. What we call man months, person months, number of people required, how many I have deployed, how many I had planned. Have I deployed more than what is planned? Have I also deployed the skill set required in the project according to the plan or not? That is also part of the resources. So these are the 7 aspects of project management which needs to be managed, monitor, control all throughout the project of any nature, of any type, of any scale: simple, medium, average, complex, ISRO project, NASA project, ONGC project, financial institution project, FI's project, NBFC project, BFSI project. You take any project on planet Earth, the 7 aspects have to be managed, monitor, control. Let's move to the core, the metrics terminologies. We often understand, we often collect the metrics, we often collect the KPIs. We use these terms loosely, understandingly, either case, but we know that we need to collect metrics, we need to collect KPIs, but what are they? So here is the details. Metrics is a quantifiable measurement. First important thing, it's a quantifiable measurement. To assess the performance, track progress, and measure the success of various processes, initiatives, entities, activities. That is metrics. I'm going to give this slide deck to Shikha. She can upload it to the portal or wherever, so you can use it wherever you want to. The point is, I'm not going to read this slide line by line, because otherwise it will go for 2, 3, 4 hours. So coming back, metrics is a quantifiable measurement used to assess performance, track progress, and measure the success of various processes, initiatives, activities, entities. They provide objective and tangible data. What are we doing? What should have been? What is the variation? Examples include measuring the thickness or length of a debit card, length of a cloth. These are all metrics which we collect. Our body mass index is also a matrix. Our weight is also a matrix. And very important thing, when you associate this matrix with a goal or an objective, that is known as, can anyone tell me on the chat? When you associate metrics to a goal, to an objective, to certain achievement which you want to achieve, that becomes, what is that known as? What is that known as? Pathik Vyas says KPI. Perfectly right, Pathik Vyas from Canada. Perfectly right. When you associate metrics with a goal, objective, that becomes KPI, key performance indicator. So that is what we call KPI. Yogesh Baria also says KPI. Yes. Okay, perfectly right. So that is what we call KPI. Okay, key performance indicator. Example include financial metrics, revenue growth over last 3 years, last 2 years. What is a very common terminology for the revenue growth? CAGR, cumulative compounded growth. CAGR, cumulative annual compounded growth. That is where revenue growth, that is where that KPI comes. The CAGR of this enterprise is 12% year on year, YOY. So that is where KPI comes into place. Key performance indicator. Understood? So metrics is quantifiable measurement, and when you associate metrics with an objective, with a goal, that becomes KPI. So mind you, when you speak to your colleagues in your department, in your project, you must understand the logic that what is metrics, what is KPI. All KPIs are metrics, but all metrics are not KPIs. There is because you collect a lot of metrics, but they are not, all metrics are not associated with objectives, goals of your department, of your function. Some of them would be associated with you as an individuals or you as a group, what we call function or a department. So all KPIs are metrics. One second. All KPIs are metrics, but all KPIs are metrics, but all metrics are not KPIs. Important statement to remember. In an enterprise, that's why the metrics program have to be undertaken at various levels, right from the CIO, CEO level to the lowest cadre in the enterprise. The metrics program have to be undertaken, have to be monitored, have to be managed, have to be evaluated to see whether the metrics program is giving you result what you are anticipating or not. That is what we call metrics program, a quantifiable measurement. And that is where quantitative project management, QPM, comes into place. That is where QPM comes into place, that it should give you benefit. It should give you value for collecting the metrics, analyzing the metrics, taking the decision on the metrics, and taking the next steps forward based on the collected data. Data collection is a very pivotal, important aspect in a metrics program. If you don't collect the data, you can't work with metrics. You must collect the data. Data collection is the heart. Without heart, no human body survives. Similarly, if you don't collect the data, metrics program cannot survive. It will fizzle out. So you must collect the data. There are various types of metrics which are there. One second, let me move this. Okay, yeah. There are various types of metrics. Effectiveness metrics, efficiency metrics. There is a error here. Effectiveness metrics, efficiency metrics, productivity metrics, conformance metrics, and lag and lead metrics. Every metrics is divided into these 5 subtypes. You need to bucket it and accordingly need to manage, monitor, control. You need to define the frequency of collecting the metrics. Another important aspect in the metrics program, frequency of collecting the metrics. You need daily basis, you need fortnightly, you need weekly, you need yearly, monthly, 6 monthly, quarterly, and compare it with the past. Because then only the usefulness of metrics and the KPI comes into place. Clear? Who collects the metrics? Everyone and anyone can collect the metrics. It is not necessary that only certain people need to collect metrics. Anyone and everyone can collect the metrics. However, there are certain people who have been designated or who will be designated to collect the metrics, especially in the Scrum. Especially in the Scrum, you will have people designated to collect metrics. If you are working in a information technology based project, you will have Agile Scrum as a software development life cycle methodology, and that is where you will have a Scrum Master or a product owner who will collect these metrics. How many user stories are developed, how many were committed, how many delivered, why there is a delta between commitment and delivered. You have committed 5 stories, you delivered only 3 in the current sprint, 2 are not delivered. Why? That why have to be answered. And if the why answer is getting repeated, for example, then you must do a root cause analysis, RCA, and see why this answer is getting repeated. Why am I getting the variance between commitment versus actual? Is the team not having enough knowledge? Are the tools not adequate for them to deliver? Are there many absenteeism in the team? Does the team need training? So that RCA has to be done, root cause analysis, and see the delta and act upon that delta. And that is where very famous Deming life cycle comes into place. What we call plan, do, check, act, PDCA. That is Deming's life cycle. PDCA, plan, do, check, act. PDCA, plan, do, check, act. You must plan what kind of metrics you need to collect. Then you collect the metrics. Then you check. Check is nothing but evaluation of the metrics. And that is where today's buzzword. What is today's buzzword? AI, ML, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics comes into place. Analyze the data. See the trend. See the trend. And see what the trend indicates. And then act on that trend. So this cycle has to go on. PDCA. So coming back to this, who collects the metrics? Anyone and everyone should collect the metrics. You need to be analyzed and see the improvement. We will see all those details I'm telling you now because of I am going little faster, but all those details are there in the slides. So, and today's area of information technology infrastructure, and for that matter, any kind of infrastructure, whether it is infrastructure projects, building the dams or buildings or highways, or infrastructure project in terms of information technology, cloud, data centers, and the today's another buzzword, which is observability, DevOps, DevSecOps. These are where the automation has emerged as one of the key players. And that is where today's another important word which has emerged is agentic AI. AI agent has emerged. Automation. You collect these metrics automatically and you analyze it automatically. You do the predictive analytics automatically, and that is where predictive maintenance emerge as one of the important aspect. A very unique, I would say, service offering business line has emerged based on the historical data of an infrastructure. How quicker, faster I can do a preventive maintenance so that I avoid the outage. Any infrastructure you take, whether it is oil and gas, highway construction, building construction, you have sensors. You collect this data from the sensor. That is where IoT comes into place. In Internet of Things. You collect the data. That's why I said in the beginning, collection of data is utmost important in any successful metrics program. If you don't collect the data, you cannot have successful metrics program. So collecting the data is a prerequisite. And what should be collected? Who should collect it? When should you collect it? It is where metrics program comes into place. That you must do the planning of this metrics program, put it in a proper document, what kind of metrics you want to collect, when you want to collect, so and so forth. And you create a project charter or a business case or a project initiation document, whatever terminologies and the methodology you want to use, you need to put it, get the funding and put the automation required in place. Whatever is the charter you have sorted, put it. That is part of the metrics program. Very important. Any project will be successful and will always be successful when you have collected data and the metrics associated with it. And that is where CMMI level 5 talks about quantitative project management. Look at the interrelationship between this. The fundamentals remains the same. Metrics, data collection are most important. The benefits of metrics program or collecting the metrics, informed decision making. You have the informed, that means you had the reference point, data collection, data points with you. Performance monitoring and improvement, increase efficiency, and strategic alignment are some of the operational benefits, and competitive and financial benefit is cost saving, competitive advantage. You collect the competitors data and see how competitor is performing, and you align your products in line with competitor, and then you see how are you perform. But that data collection and analysis of competitors data is important, and that is where today's LLMs have emerged wonderful. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Cloud, Gemini gives you a lot of such competitors data and its analysis. You must use it to your advantage. So what is measurement? So measurement is something related to the physical object. Length of a suit or a shirt or a trouser. Okay, physical object. That is where measurement comes into place. And when you, metrics is more than measurement. It is related to non-tangible as well as tangible. Understood? Clear? And it is derived from measure. It is derived from measure. It contextualizes a measure by relating to other data or goals. Clear? Metrics are built from measures. You need measures to calculate metric. A single measure can be used to calculate many different metrics. A measure might be total sales, but metric could be average sales per customer, sales growth rate. You can see the difference between a measure and a metric. But in another, when I was reading on this subject, one of the authors said that a metric is also different in the nature. It is related to non-tangible activities or objects too. Measurements are usually related to physical objects in nature. Need not be always true, but usually. So here is the more summarized differentiation between measure and metrics. Measures quantifies physical. That's what I said just now, and it is there. I was not knowing whether I had included this slide or not, but measures quantifies physical abstract quantities using standard units. Metrics quantifies and evaluates performance and processes. That's why I said metrics are non-tangible in nature. Focus on a single activity. Focus is on product. Used to calculate input and output. Used for a higher level of analysis. That is difference between measurement and metrics. Any questions, participants, before we move to the few other slides? Any questions? Are you able to understand?
Yes, there is one question from Manoj Kumar. He's asking, how does one set and measure metrics for soft skills, which are also very crucial to PM and project success?
Very good question. Very good question. So soft skills metrics are usually subjective in nature. But when it becomes subjective in nature, you convert that into a scale. 1 to 5, 1 to 10, A to E, or as average good, very good, kind of, and you give some number to it. How many goods are there? How many bads are there? How many averages are there? That is how you make it a subjective metrics into a quantitative, or you correlate. You understood, Manoj?
Manoj, while Manoj replies, there is one more question from Arshiyan Ullah Khan. Should I read?
Of course.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Could you share examples of tools or software that support quantitative analysis and earned value tracking effectively?
Though so many. You go to internet and see, you will see yourself thousands of tools which calculates EVM for you. And you need to collect the data to calculate. You can even manually do it. but you must collect the data. There are so many tools, and the great AI will give you the answer. Or for that matter, even I think in Excel, there are formulas, there are templates available, paid templates, which makes you to calculate EVM. So many. There are paid templates. There are Excel, people sell Excel templates. So you subscribe to those templates, you will be able to calculate the EVM. But for calculating the EVM, you must have the data with you. What is my planned schedule? What is my actual? All those data points required to calculate EVM have to be there. Without that, what will be the use? Understood, Manoj and others who are asking these questions? So data collection and the data point is very important. Thousands of tools are there to calculate EVMs and so many formulas of PMP. When I appeared in 2018, I had written down all those in my notes, and same thing for all the PMP appeared participants. So that is, and you did not have to mark these formulas. You had done it when you had appeared for PMP. That is okay. But in a practicality, you must use it, and using it's very easy. You have tools, you have everything at your disposal. In exam, there was nothing in front of us. That's why we need to mug up. And which is right way of, I would say, remembering the things, to make you learn and to make you understand that what is EVM is all about. Fantastic, I would say, technique of PMP. Fantastic. Okay, so what is a process? We saw measurement, we saw metrics. Now let's look at process, because the place where metrics gets collected is process. Okay, so process is a series of steps, action taken to achieve a specific goal or a result. That is a process. It involves transforming an input to a desired output and can be applied to everyday activities, scientific principles, complex business operations. That is a process. Process key components, very important: input, activities, output. You give input, it processes, it does it performs activities, and it generates output. And when it performs this, it achieves goal. Every process need to have a goal, need to have an objective. The specific objective the process is designed to achieve. That is what we call process. And when you have a process, you must see whether the process is delivering goal or not. And how do you ensure that process is delivering goal? You will have two important terminologies coming into place: efficiency and effectiveness. I will skip and come here for a second. How do I? Yes, okay. Efficiency and effectiveness. Every process success is to be measured with two dimensions. Very important, two dimensions: efficiency and effectiveness. I learned all this while I was studying my ITIL. Okay, when I was doing my ITIL expert examination, these terms were frequently asked and used. That time I studied this: efficiency and effectiveness. Very important, two dimensions. Efficiency is a measurable ability to avoid making mistakes and wasting materials, energy, effort, money, time while performing the task. How efficiently you can perform the process. A manufacturing assembly line, that is a process. That is an assembly line. How efficiently it is designed so that I can have a so that I have a minimal wastage of raw material when an assembly is going on. For example, car manufacturing. How can I minimize the wastage? How can I minimize the assembly of car so that I can have in the shortest possible time maximum cars. That is where effectiveness of the process is judged. Efficiency and effectiveness goes hand to hand, like husband and wife supposed to be. Those who are married will understand this statement. So that is what we call efficiency. In a more general sense, it is ability to do things well, successfully, without waste. That is what we call efficiency. And what is effectiveness? What is effectiveness? Effectiveness or effectivity is the capability of producing desired results or the ability to produce desired output in the shortest possible time. I have the effectiveness measured in terms of throughput. In terms of throughput, which is nothing but written here. You can see the third bullet, productivity. That is how we measure the effectiveness. That is how we measure the effectiveness. Shortest possible time, how many cars am I manufacturing? In the shortest possible time, how many barrels of oil I am digging it from the ONGC Helbez in Mumbai, Farsi, Arabian Sea. That is how you judge the process effectiveness and efficiency. Understood, participant? In the shortest possible time, how many kilometers of highway am I constructing? Nitin Gadkari, the Ministry of Highways, measures this effectiveness very, very efficiently and very is this metrics. That is where government, that earlier 15 years back there were only 12 kilometers per day construction of highway used to happen. Today with the NDA government in India, we are constructing 27 kilometers, for example, whatever. But that is how you measure the effectiveness of constructing the highways and the process which is followed in constructing the highway. You improved the process. That is where efficiency comes into place. And when you improve the efficiency, effectiveness of that efficiency is seen, measured, that really there is a effectiveness and there is an efficiency improvement, and you measure the you measure it through effectiveness. Effectiveness is doing the right things. Effectiveness is all about end result. This is what just now I said. Constructing 27 kilometers per day national highway in India. Earlier vis-a-vis 12 kilometers or 14 or whatever. Understood? So that's on effectiveness and efficiency. Another important terminology when you are undertaking the metrics program is KPI, key performance indicator. What is a KPI? A quantifiable measurement used to evaluate how effectively an organization, individuals achieve specific key business objectives. When you associate metrics to a goal, to an objective, it is key performance indicator. Quantifiable metrics, goal-oriented, performance tracking, decision making, areas of application are some of the important aspects of KPI. And there is a specific term used nowadays for an effective KPI. Can anyone tell me what is that term used for effective KPI? How do you say that this KPI is a very efficient and effective KPI? The specific term used. A lot of people uses in their departments. Your seniors, your department heads uses this term very frequently. Saurabh Mukadam. Perfectly right, Saurabh. Smart goals. You are very smart to give this answer smart. Very smart. Okay. We will see that term in the last slide, what the smart means. The whole crux of this 1800 slide I have summarized into one slide, and that slide we will see at the last. Shika, you remind me to showcase that slide. If paucity of time, if we have to cut short the discussion, then that slide is important.
Okay, sure.
Perfect. A lot of people are giving answer right now. Very good. Okay. So that is your smartness. And that is the smartness of me, that I'm effectively and efficiently delivering the lecture. That is on a lighter sense. Don't take it in a okay. But that is what I'm trying to say. So your goals, your KPIs have to be smart enough, like you are smart. Clear? Fine. The KPIs have to be strategic. The KPIs can be operational, can be functional, can be leading versus lagging. These are all types of KPIs one can have. Leading and lagging based on the past data. You want to take the future stand. You want to do the action based on the past data, or you want to refer to the past data. PMP says what they call PMP, क्या बोलते हैं, what they call historical data. Historical data. Clear? So here is the example of lag and lead. I have written down somewhere. Where is that? Yes, here it is. Lead measures are predictive indicators for future outcomes. Number of new customers interviews. So how many of new customers interviews happened? You collect that, and you can if you want to predict some outcomes, some trend, that is where lead metrics comes into place. Lag metrics, example, number of defective products produced, past tense, happened. But use that data. It's not that you discard that data. Whatever data you have collected, number of defective product produced, why did I produce defective products? Who produced defective products? When was it produced? Defective product was produced. What was the cause of the defective product produced? Was it caused because of certain raw material coming into the assembly line? Or was it because of the skill set of the people on the assembly line? They were not having required training performed, by which they produce the defective products. So that you need to perform the RCA. You should not discard this data. No data should be discarded. Yeah, outliers have to be discarded to see the correct data. I would say that is statistical term people use. I don't recollect now. But what I'm trying to say, that such data is, such metrics is important. So that is where KPI comes into place. Yeah. So lead and lag indicators. These are the types of KPIs. Some examples of KPI I have put here. Finance KPI. Those who are from finance domain, will understand this very well. Gross profit margin, operating profit margin, net profit margin, operating expense ratio, working capital ratio. These are all key performance indicator. You create a goal or an objective and you measure yourself against that. That is the KPI. That in next 3 years, my gross profit margin should increase from 12% to 18%. That is the KPI. You have a goal, you have an objective, and in order to achieve that objective, you start collecting the metrics, which is nothing but KPI, convert that into a KPI and measure it, monitor it, control it. Control in both the terms, positive and negative. If my debt ratio, those who are chartered accountants and those who are from financial industry and background from finance and accounting will understand that my debt ratio is going up, then I must control the debt ratio. My current, what is that called? Current ratio, current asset ratio, something like that. If it is too low, that means my liability is more than the asset. I must have higher assets so that my ratio improves. Current asset ratio. Yeah, that's the word. Clear? So that is the finance KPI. The another important KPI, those who are from sales background, new inbound leads, new qualified opportunities, total pipeline value, sales volume by location. And then you have got nowadays lot of technology and tools are there and products are there where you can put this data. It generates wonderful graphs, dashboards, reports. It can, with the coming in of AI, you can infer this data. You can do a predictive analytics. When the churn of, I mean, that's not the right word. When you have thousands of data, that's the right word, tons of data with you, you can do a lot of predictive nature of analytics. 2 or 3 data points, what is to predict? 2, 3, 5. This is the data point. Age, at the most you can say the average age is this. That's the only inference you can draw. Or you can say 2 female, 1 male. That's okay. So ratio is this, but doesn't give you a lot of other information. But when you have tons of data with you, you can do wonderful predictive analytics, graphs, dashboards, inference of the data. Predictive analytics you can do. You can do a decision making based on the predictive analytics. That if my trend of the sales is growing in northeast or in north, during the winter time, my woolen sale is going up. That means there is a demand going up. That means I must supply enough material to north states of India by which I don't suffer a decline in sales and my market share remains where it is today or it improves more. So in next 2 months, I must have a woolen line assembly in my manufacturing unit because my woolen sale is going up in north and I must continue to have an assembly line producing woolen clothes. I mean. But that kind of data have to be analyzed, to be seen. You can see this data based on various footprints coming on your website, from where I'm getting the maximum traffic. Who are the customers who are putting these inquiries? What is nature of the those customers? So demographics of those customers, you can do analytics on that and see how the behavior of those customers. Who are those customers? What is the pocket size of those customers? Are they lower middle class, upper middle class? Accordingly, you can price your woolen clothes. So these kind of metrics and KPIs have to be created for your own environment, for your own enterprise, and people are doing it. People are doing it, and that is where another important terminology and today's buzzword comes is natural language programming, NLP. When you induce this kind of information to NLP, it automatically gives you a touch, a personal touch, because of the historical data and your behavior which has produced. And it, now when you are doing a browsing or a surfing or you are chatting with a chatbot, it will give you automatically this kind of preferences to you. That is also a kind of an analytics. Anyway, so what is KPI? All KPIs are metrics, and all metrics are not KPIs. I had seen this. I told this difference earlier, and this is in a summarized way. KPIs gives holistic view. Metrics gives you a picture of how different individual activities rolled out within a function are progressing. KPIs gives holistic view of the performance of different functions in an organization. KPI tells you where exactly your team stands. Metrics, individual metrics do not give any insight on their own. But when you have a KPI, it correlates and it gives you a complete picture. So this is what in a summarized way, KPI and metrics. Another important terminology, OKR, objectives and key results. A lot of people use these terminologies, OKR, objectives and key results. So I put this here. OKR, which stands for objectives and key results, is a goal setting framework used by individual teams, organizations to define and track their goals and progress. Some examples of OKR. I will take a minute pause. You can read yourself and then move to the next slide. Give me a minute. Let me have a water and come back. You can read the slide for in a minute. So that's on OKR. Did you read this slide? Can I move to the next slide? Someone can say thumb. Yeah, perfect. Another important terminology which people use it while collecting metrics and performing the metrics program is SLA, service level agreement. SLA is an agreement between the provider and a client that outlines measurable metrics such as uptime, response time, specific responsibilities. SLA. And another important term which comes into play is SLO, service level objective. From my SLA, you define SLO. If my SLA is 99.5% uptime, my SLO should be 99.9, up above the SLA. Then only you will be able to achieve the SLA, service level objective. And I have put in a summarized way the table, what we call SLA vis-a-vis. So there is an error here, SLO, SLI and SLA. You can read yourself for a minute or for a few seconds. More related to information technology as a domain. You can see here DevOps, SRE. These are the information technology domains or teams which performs these functions in a large enterprise. Another important terminology comes into place is SLR, service level requirement. The customer gives you the requirement. The end user gives you the requirement. And that have to be translated into SLA and then SLO. So you start with SLR, SLA, SLO. That is how the hierarchy is defined. Requirement comes, you translate into an agreement. Customer wants, I want 24/7 L1 support engineer in my organization. Sorry, at my premise. That is a requirement. So you say, okay, we are ready to give you L1 support engineer at your premise. It is going to cost you 100 rupees. So requirement was 24/7 customer, sorry, L1 site engineer to be stationed at customer premise. But the agreement turned out to be that, okay, it is 100 rupees is too costly. I will not go for 24/7, but I will go for 16/5 L1 support engineer stationed at my premise. So requirement 24/7 translated into 16/5, and I must have the uptime of 99.9%. In that is the case, I will have my SLO defined as 99.99%. So you have SLR, SLA, SLO coming into place. And then the last terminology which is used is SLI, service level indicators. Various indicators you agree upon within an SLA, that is service level indicators. The important technique of collecting this metrics, there are two techniques which are very famous apart from normal data collection, what we do through Excel or through other project management tools. The techniques which are very famous, which uh, I have used, is NPS, Net Promoter Score. The likes minus dislike is equal to NPS, Net Promoter Score. And you need to give certain questions to uh, to the from whom you are collecting this Net Promoter Score. There are predefined questions. Do you like the organization? If yes, then will you give recommendation to others? If no, then why not? Blah blah blah. There are some predefined questions. I think I have forgotten to include those template in this slide deck. So that is how you quantify the customer CSAT at an enterprise level. At an enterprise level, it is how you quantify the CSAT of customer. Sorry, at enterprise level of the customers across organization, and see the index of the customer index. You can derive certain inferences based on NPS. What was my NPS last year? What is my NPS current year? Has it improved? Yes, that means my delivery has improved. You can infer on that. Or my customer engagement has improved. Or my projects are executed on time, with quality, with scope, with cost, so on and so forth. And it has given the required benefits, what has been desired to be there. Or if NPS has reduced, that means my delivery is not effective. It's not effective. It may be efficient, but it may not be effective. So I need to tighten the screw somewhere. So all this data have to be inferred, as data collection is heart of metrics program. The inference is a mind. Data inference is a mind. You must use your mind to infer the data, to get the conclusions of the data. To see, you must read the data. This is how NPS score comes into place. Another important technique which is there is in the COVID world, what we call in IT governance, in enterprise governance, we use another important technique of collecting the data and analyzing the data and seeing what is called goals cascade. And that is nothing but balanced scorecard theory, BSC, what we call BSC, balanced scorecard theory. Balanced scorecard is a strategic management tool that helps organizations to translate vision into action by tracking performance across key perspectives: financial aspect, customer, internal processes, and learning and growth. That is where HR comes into place. You can see here in the last paragraph I have written down financial, customer, internal processes, and learning and growth. You can see here how wonderfully the BSC has been put forward. Financial, increase revenue, increase profitability, how correlated it is. Improve customer offering, internal processes, improve offering selection, and organization capacity, improve knowledge and skills. This is how it is correlated, and you measure and collect the metrics, analyze it, and see how effectively are you delivering your goods and services. This is the process. I give you the entire Bhagavad Gita Gnan. And in summary, this is what it is. Purpose, you must have objectives, you must have indicators, and you must have metrics. The cycle need to go on forever and ever and ever. Cycle should never be stopped. Okay. Now let's look at some examples before. Yeah, we are actually on track. Okay. So let's look at some examples from industry, specifically from information technology standpoint, because I am a person from IT background. But it's not that I have not covered the non-IT domain. You will see that in the last few slides. Okay, so we'll quickly see some of the very famous metrics, what gets collected in information technology as a domain or as an industry, as a vertical, whatever you want to call. We will see some other metrics, what gets collected in non-IT, in other functions like finance, accounting, marketing, sales. We'll see those two. Okay. Let's look at the project metrics. You can see here project metrics, schedule variance, cycle time, cost variance, earned value. See, earned value. ROI, return on investment, EBITDA. You need to see whether the project is having certain organization EBITDA or not. When I was working in data metrics, okay, we had a norm, certain norms defined for the EBITDA. If the project which we are bidding for it, if the EBITDA is less than certain percentage, I cannot disclose that, then that bid will not go through. The finance CFO and others will not approve that bid, because the profitability of that project coming in, suppose it comes to organization, then it will not be profitable. So you measure the profitability of project using certain EBITDA formulas and certain percentage and so on and so forth. Customers set, CSAT, value and benefit realization, scope creep, quality defects leakage. These are some of the metrics. You must collect it, analyze it, see it, look at the trend, and add across projects. And that is where very important function comes into place. Can anyone tell me who will analyze these different metrics at project level and see what is the trend going on? Who will do this in an organization? Everyone will collect the data. Mohammed Sharif says project manager. My dear friend, project manager will do it for himself, for his or her project. At organization level, who will do this? Nimesh Dani, PMO. Okay, very good. Any other word? SCPG, Software Engineering Process Group. Program manager will definitely do, yes. But at organization level, program manager will do it for his or her program or portfolio across organization. My dear friend, CFO is dealing with financial aspects. He doesn't deal that metrics team, Prachi Vaidya, that metrics team is what we commonly referred as SCPG, Software Engineering Process Group. They will collect this data, they will look at this, they will analyze it, and they will come out with the metrics limit, what we call UCL and LCL. Upper control limit, lower control limit. Every metrics will have a band. You are allowed in that band, UCL and LCL. Are you able to follow it, what I'm saying? So that is where this kind of metrics, Devendra Rajkert says yes. Okay, very good. So this is project metrics. RED tracking. RED is risk, assumption, issues, dependency, and resource utilization. Told you the 7 aspects. You can correlate here. All of them are here. All of them. And that is where these wonderful formulas of PMP comes into place. Cost variance, CPI, cost performance index, schedule variance, schedule index. So many formulas we used to remember in exam time. Now you have everything in Excel. There are Excel ready-made templates available. You need to pay for it, of course, but it gives you all this in one click, provided you have the data with you. Another important metrics, nature of metrics which gets a group of metrics gets collected is development metrics. Development velocity, cycle time, test coverage, development frequency, net promoter score, CSAT, MTBF, mean time between failures. These are all development metrics. Agile Scrum metrics. Agile Scrum is an information technology execution style or a methodology. Okay, and that is where sprint burn down chart, epic release burn down chart, velocity, cumulative flow diagram. These are all these kind of different metrics gets collected. You can see here in the summarized way. Velocity, sprint burn down, release burn down, lead time, cycle time, cumulative flow diagram, CFD. It all gets collected, analyzed, and you have got a tool, a wonderful tool to give you all this, provided you give correct input in terms of correct data. If you don't give data, this graph would be would be empty. You say generate, nothing will come out. However, you try 100 times. And if you don't, even if you give correct, even if you give data, but if the data is incorrect, the graph would show something very, very funny. So what we call GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. GIGO. Okay. So that's why this is very important. Data collection, data quality, very important. Another execution style or methodology is Kanban. Kanban metrics, cumulative flow diagram, Scrum ban, cycle time are some of the development metrics. Testing metrics, percentage of test executed, those who are from testing fraternity, the testers, data engineers, okay, from the testing side, percentage of test executed, defect density, requirement coverage, how effectively the test cases and scenarios have been effectively mapped to requirements, defect leakage from system test to UAT. Let me ask one question. Is it good or bad if the defect leakage from system test to UAT is high? Good or bad? If the defect leakage from system test, Saumil Bansal says bad. Perfectly right. From system test to UAT, Pathik Vyas. Yes. From Ottawa, Canada, says it is bad. Perfectly right. UAT, from system test to UAT, bad. The lower it is good. That means my system test is very effective in nature. It shows that. That means my testing is solid in system test. That's why my defect unearthed in UAT is low in nature. The more defect unearthed in UAT, that means my system testing is not effective. It may be efficient. My cycle of system testing is short, but it is not giving me the result. Clear? Understood? That is testing metrics. One second. Another important metrics in a large enterprise of nature information technology is DevOps. And there is a very famous, I would say, framework in place for DevOps is DORA. Okay, DevOps Research and Assessment from Google. They have put this framework in place we call DORA, DevOps Research and Assessment. There are 4 metrics which they insist to get collected: deployment frequency, lead time for changes, change failure rate, and time to restore services. And these are some of the DevOps and DORA metrics: deployment frequency, lead time for changes, change failure rate, defect leakage, so on and so forth. There are so many. And last 3 or 4 are DevSecOps metrics. DevSecOps, number of vulnerabilities, defect, MTDD, mean time to defect threat, mean time to remediation after threat detection. These are all DevSecOps metrics. When you collect this and when you analyze it, it will give you a lot of information. That how much is my code vulnerable to threats. And that is where information security, InfoSec, comes into place. And that is where CISM comes into place. Certified Information Security Auditor, Certified Information Security Manager. Today's
Premal, your PPT is only showing DORA as of now, so there are some feedback from the attendees.
I am on that slide. I am not. There is no slide on info security. I'm just speaking on my own.
Okay.
Got it? Another important metrics which enterprise need to collect is cloud, and where that is where FinOps comes into place. Financial operations related to cloud latency, error rates, cost of cloud operations, response duration, MTBF, MTTR, mean time between failures, mean time to restore services, deploy and releases, cycle time dev to prod, tagging versus untagging. These are all, I would say, metrics to be collected if you are hosting your services on cloud. And you are as a user using the cloud. This then you must collect this kind of metrics and see, and which, suppose example, CPU memory utilization, which VMs are using high CPU memory utilization, which applications are hosted on there. Can we optimize it? When you optimize, if the CPU utilization comes down or memory utilization comes down, I will pay less for that kind of resources which I'm using it on cloud. So data inference analysis is equally important. Data planning, collection, ingestion, analysis, inference, action, go back. This cycle of what we call PDCA need to be continuously there so that you have effective and efficient metrics program. This goes on forever and ever. In Hindu philosophy, we say Atma takes form in various types up to finite times, 84 lakh times. Lakha what we call. Lakha That means 84 lakh times the Atma will take different forms. And at the end of that 84 lakh times, then it will meet Paramatma. But this cycle of metrics will go on forever and ever and ever. It is an infinite cycle. Plan, do, check, act. Plan, do, check, act. It will go on forever and ever and ever. Anyway, that's on cloud. Another important aspect of an enterprise is ITIL, Information Technology Infrastructure Library. One second, my battery will go down. Give me a minute. And we have got 2 minutes. So these are various practices of ITIL which gives you a lot of KPIs which you must collect. Availability management, IT service continuity management, for security management, change management, so on and so forth. There are 34 practices you can see here, which gives you a lot of, for which you need to collect a lot of metrics to see how effectively my service management is performing at enterprise level. AI metrics, artificial intelligence metrics. Okay, this is to be collected from the service provider and users both perspective. Technical and model metrics, user and operational metrics, business and strategic metrics. Model quality, system quality KPIs, business operational KPIs, adoption KPIs. You can see here all this. And last 2 or 3 slides, Shika, I may overgo by 2-3 minutes more.
Yeah, no problem. You can take your time.
Another important metrics, which other than non-IT, other than IT is sales metric. You can see so many sales metrics which you must collect, you must see, you must analyze it. Monthly sales growth, average profit margin, monthly sales bookings, sales opportunities, so on and so forth. HR metrics, employee turnover, attrition, absence, retention, head count, revenue per employee. In today's world, this has become very important. Revenue per employee, very important. Time to fill, quality of hire, employee engagement rating, cost per hire. Yes, you compare it. Those who are from HR should know this. You compare cost per hire vis-a-vis retention rate. I am pretty sure and confident that cost per hire, if you go out in the market, would be more than the cost of retention. I am pretty sure on that. That data has to be collected, analyzed. That if I hire from outside, if the employee is leaving and you don't retain and you hire someone new, that cost of hiring, because you have to consider every cost, right from the giving the advertisement or putting the notification on LinkedIn or Naukri to person coming on board, that effort, that cost, all have to be summed up. That would be more than retaining the person. You have to evaluate case to case, but I'm talking in general, not anything to do with any specific individual or skill set or so and so forth. That data have to be analyzed. That's what I'm trying to say. Financial metrics, marketing metrics. You can see lead generation, lead conversion, customer acquisition, customer lifetime value, return on investment. Hence, okay, I will skip this. I will skip that. This. Hence, all the metrics, KPIs, KRAs, SLAs, all have to be smart. This is the slide which I was talking about, Shikha. The metrics have to be smart. Smart like you. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-based. So with that slide, I end my lecture, my talk, whatever you want to call. Thank you very much. I overshoot by 3 minutes. That's the metrics which I collect. And I go with that 3 minutes overshoot, which is, I think, UCL is maybe probably 5 minutes upper control limit of Shikha, which she would have said that 5 minutes is overrun is allowed within that UCL. So thank you so much. Hope you have enjoyed the talk as much as I have enjoyed preparing this slide deck and sharing the information with all of you here in India and at overseas, wherever you are. Thank you so much. Over to you, Shikha.
Thank you, Premal. Very informative session. The matrix is a very new topic for us. So there are some questions. I will just read one by one. So one is from Muhammad Sharif. He is asking, efficiency and effectiveness are not got with full automation or mix of manual versus automation, or it depends upon the objectives and goals. So is this a correct statement to make?
It is a hybrid. It should be a hybrid approach. I hope that answers your question.
Okay. Next question is from Maheshwar. He is asking, how about quantifiable metrics?
Huh? Which metrics?
Quantifiable metrics.
Quantifiable.
Yeah,
Yes,
quantifiable.
metrics have to be quantifiable. That's the whole purpose of metrics. Metrics have to be quantifiable. That is the meaning of, I mean, quantifiable or quantification is equal to, it has to be quantifiable.
Yes,
Metrics
measure.
cannot be abstract.
Matrix is composed of measures, so it has to be quantifiable,
It
right?
has to be quantifiable. It cannot, otherwise it's not a matrix. Number 5, when I say equal to age, it is quantified or it is related to age 5.
Okay. Next question is from Rahul Raghuvanshi. He is asking what is SLT. So Vrishali Bhagwat has answered service level targets.
Correct. So
So
continue.
he's asking what comes under SLT.
Service level target. What is the target? It may be another word of SLO, service level objective. Now target is can be seen from a service, in the sense you service provider will as the requester will put a target, and that is SLA converted into an SLO. So it depends upon the target in which context you put forward.
Next question is from Yogesh Barya. He's asking nowadays efficiency measured with AI or ML during interview. What's your take on this?
Very good question. I would say you have to be smart enough to overcome AI. That's, I mean, you have to be smart enough. I could say that. Very good question.
I think that was the last question. People are asking for the deck and the slide. So I will just tell that recording of this session will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, PMI Mumbai
Correct.
Chapter. So you can access from there. And as Premal said, whoever wants the slide can connect with me. I will share the slide. So
Correct. I will. Yeah, continue, Shika.
so there is, because this is a total, he said 1800 slides. So he's not so it is a bit long, very much
85
information.
slides. 85
85
slides.
slides, yeah. So there is one more question from Arshiyan Ullah Khan. He is asking, how do you check if the metrics are in line with the business goals? Is there any standardized governance to assess the metrics?
Absolutely. The moment whether they are in line with the business objectives, when you start collecting and it start giving you results, that means the metrics and the KPIs are in line with the business objectives. If they are not giving you the results, or it is not helping you to achieve the business result, that means those KPIs are not useful. You need to tune your KPIs to have in line with the business objective, whether that is meeting or not. And that is where these techniques comes into place, the NPS, the BSC, so and so forth.
I think that was the last question from the attendees. So last one question will be from my side, as I said. So I'll just read out my question again, as I already told you. So that is, as you explained a number of different types of metrics in this session. So I want to know whether we can implement permutations and combinations to invent new metrics from these metrics.
Absolutely, you can invent a new matrix, but the fundamentals of those of that new matrix would be the same. The conformance, the effect, efficient, efficiency, lead, those 5 buckets in the matrix will fall in that any of the 5 categories. You can have your own new matrix. For example, AI led. No, I would not say. Uh, example, I'm giving some new metrics. Effect of AI on emotional quotient. New metrics possible, but that would fall under any of those 5 categories: efficiency, effectiveness, conformance, and one more 5. I forgot. Understood, Shika?
Yes.
Yes.
You had also explained the last time I asked you. So there is one more question from Patik Vyas. He's asking, Mr. Desai, we are typically good with measuring KPIs for outputs. When it comes to outcomes, that is long term, it's a struggle. So what has worked for you?
Very, very different question. Can you repeat the question, please?
Mr. Desai, we are typically good with measuring KPIs for outputs. When it comes to outcomes, it's and when it comes to outcomes, it's a struggle. So what has worked for you? Like KPIs are different and outcomes are different. So how, what
Outcomes
is
are outcomes are impact of the change. That is outcome. So I would say the end result has worked with me. Whether outcome is achieved or not, that is the ultimate uh, thing which has worked with me. I hope that answers question, Mr. Pathik Vyas.
yeah, Mr. Yogesh, please can you just what was your question? He's asking. Mr. Yogesh, can you just write your question again? Last question is what, Mr. Yogesh? Can you please type in again? Because I think I have read that question and Premal has answered that. Yogesh Barya. Okay, that was, I think he has answered, but every day AI ML tech is increasing day by day. So how can we mitigate this one with existing one?
You have to you have to uh, mitigate. You have to accept the reality and the fact that AI and ML is going to be there. You have to work with it. You cannot avoid it. You have to welcome it. That's the right word I was looking. Yes. You have to welcome it and accept it. You can't avoid it. You can't run away with it. There is no replacement to AI and ML and agent AI and whatever these buzzwords are there. You can't. You can't. You have to accept it. The more you learn about it, more you get acquainted, more you become smarter, you overcome this threat and the risk. You have to be one up all the time. So as Pathik Vyas was asking, you have to be for how did I survive with the outcomes? You have to be one up.
Okay, Devendra is asking, is the PDU code active to be reported? Yes, Devendra, you can, if it is not working, just wait for 48 hours and it will be active. Otherwise, it will be automatically created in your account within couple of days. So I'm sharing here the PDU code because there are lots of people who have requested me to share the PDU code in the session itself so that due to urgency, they are just holding up and they are attending the session to get one PDU or 1.5 to get their certification active. So you can just try again. Otherwise, within 48 hours, that PDU code gets active so that you can try accordingly. So I think that was the last question, and thank you, Premal. That was a very informative session. And as I told you, we will be presenting the third time within 6 months. This is the third certificate of appreciation we'll be sharing with you. So thanks for showing your interest, for sharing your valuable knowledge with PMI Mumbai chapter. So if you can unshare, I can share the certificate of appreciation, please.
I have stopped.
Can you unshare?
I have stopped. Is it not stopped?
Okay. Can you can you see my screen?
Not yet. Yeah, now I have stopped. Now can you see? Yes.
Yes. So thank you. Please accept a certificate of appreciation from our end as a small token of thanks for accepting our invitation to present today's PM Pit Stop session. Looking forward to invite you for presenting other interesting topics in coming months. And guys, Premal will be again in the month of January. We will again invite. We have invited again Premal Desai to present PM forum session. Now this time it will be PM forum session for discussion on stakeholder management. So please tune in. And feedback form link is already shared in the chat box. Also, all the attendees who have joined today's session, feedback form link for sharing your feedback is already shared. And please note down 1.5 PDUs will get created automatically in your account for attending today's session. And for the special request which I get after the session, so for their convenience, I have shared the PDQ code also in the chat box, so you can use that. And recording of this session will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, PMI Mumbai Chapter. So you can access this recording from there. So thank you once again, Premal, for your informative session. And thank you to all the attendees who joined the session. And meet you next in next session. Bye bye.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Cheers. Bye.